How the heck have I not made a video on this game yet? If you don't follow me on Twitter,
which you totally should, at ZaffreRevo, it's so fun over there and I need the support.
Or haven't been watching my videos since day one,
do the exact opposite of what I said about Twitter because my older videos are bad and should be ignored. But follow me on Twitter.
Then I wouldn't be too surprised if you don't know about my love for this game. The World Ends With You is a masterpiece, to put it at the very least. I love this game with all my heart. About time I made a video on it, wouldn't you say? Regardless, I was taken so off guard when during a short Nintendo Direct, we immediately start off seeing symbols from the game? No, it couldn't be.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street.
The World Ends With You is coming again, and so am I. Holy shit. Am I throwing money at a third version of a game I already own? Twice? Yeah, but like, and? Man, 2018 is giving us Vesperia Definitive Edition and The World Ends With You Final Remix. What a time to be alive! The year of crossovers, Infinity War, Smash Bros, fucking baby food. This is the year of remakes, baby. I know a lot of you are excited about Vesperia, as you should be, but are you excited about The World Ends With You? This game has grown a cult following over the years, which is great and all, but it remains fairly underrated. Just what is this game all about? What will the remake improve? Is the overall package worth my time? That's what I'm here to tell you about. Let me tell you a little about this absolutely great game and show you why you should be hyped for The World Ends With You Final Remix. Ooh, getting a little better at these title drops. Now, what is The World Ends With You? Besides the edgy sounding name, it's not what you think it is. That is, if you were thinking it's some post-apocalyptic story, because no, that's not what the game is. Rather, it's an action JRPG developed by Square Enix for the Nintendo DS. Yeah, Square made this game. Remember all those weird anime characters at Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance? This is their game. Kinda weird how they were brought in said game, but it definitely introduced many people to this title. Shibuya for Kingdom Hearts 3, by the way. The game later got a re-release on smartphones, and now it's coming for the Switch. The phone version is freaking awesome, by the way, and I'll go over why in a bit. But let's quickly run through the game synopsis so we're all on the same page. You play as Neku, who lives in the always busy city of Shibuya. However, he's very antisocial and just wants to be in his own little world forever, so he does just that. Not paying anyone any mind and just being in a small bubble with headphones on and all. One day, the plot hits him and he wakes up in the streets of Shibuya remembering nothing but his name. He then gets a text message saying that he has 60 minutes to make it to a particular building in Shibuya. Fail and face erasure. Congratulations, Neku's now a part of the Reaper's game, one that has people who are dead complete tasks for another chance at living. Losing the game and they're gone for good. Things of course get much more involved the further you go, like finding out how Neku died in the first place, learning who you can trust, and so much more, all surrounding the Reaper's game itself, all making for one excellent and intriguing narrative. While there are some cliche concepts in there like the emo protagonist and fucking Amnesia, this game is a prime example of how to do them well. Neku has some of the best development I've seen in the game, and the Amnesia plot point not only isn't the main focus of the game, but is handled differently and well overall. Not to mention that the plot just keeps moving with so many interesting things happening one after another. It's not a very long game, I'd say it lasts around 25 hours if you're doing the main story, but it's 25 hours of pure golden intrigue. If anything, you'll be attracted to the characters, as this is one of gaming's greatest cast of personalities to this date. Lovable Shiki, sassy as hell Joshua, impossible to hate Beat, the angel that is Rhyme, amongst many others. On top of a top-notch narrative, you've got graphics full of style. Whether playing on the DS, smartphone, or even the Nintendo Switch, each location, background detail, character sprite, character portrait, etc., from the character designs to each attack having its own pin artwork, and of course that soundtrack. This game has a personality all on its own, and that's something you can never take away from it. There are so many genres all jam-packed into one insanely creative collection of music. And to top it all off, you've got one of the most unique combat systems ever conceived in a JRPG. Controlling two characters is a lot to take in at once, but it's the type of game that forces you to learn the ins and outs of the gameplay, and I love that. Plus, it doesn't literally just throw you in, it does gradually ease you into combat, which was nice and made it all the more enjoyable. If that's still too much though, Solo Remix only makes you control one character, with the other being more of an attack per se. Sounds like a downgrade, but it's equally as fun in its own right if I'm being honest. Now let's look at everything I said about this game. I needed to trim it down, obviously, can't say everything I love about it or we'd be here all day, but notice how it's all said in high regard. Well, that's because nearly everything this game does, it excels at, and with flying colors. What doesn't this game do right? I guess there's no voice acting, which is a bit of a shame since there's so much dialogue and the cutscenes are voiced, but like, that's all I got and it's not that deep, so yeah. If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend you do so. There's nothing like it, and it's one of the few games I feel every gamer should play at least at one point in their life because of that. You know, on top of the fact that it's just a really, really good game. So what will this game improve on? Well, a lot, especially as Solo Remix has anything to say about it. This version of the game offered so much on top of the original release, like the graphics, as you can already tell. The DS version looked great, but you can 100% see that it's being held back by the DS limitations. What? No, baby, don't get sad. You know I love you. Then it gets brought to the smartphone, so let's make the smart decision and update the visuals. Fellas, this game be sexy. When I'm not looking at the billions of texts on my okay. When I'm ignoring all my texts like the cool kid I clearly am, The World Ends With You grabs my attention because of how visually appealing it is. There are some textures that clearly haven't been given the HD treatment, which is lazy and distracting, but everything else? Yum, 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 delicioso! Then there's the updated sound and... oh, what's that? New music? There's a new soundtrack? That's right, the Reset-tier soundtrack of the first game wasn't enough, so they added more songs. Some are completely new, others are tracks from the Japanese version of the game that we missed out on, and then there are even remixes of songs from both versions. And they all sound absolutely mind-blowing. I don't think I emphasized enough how much I love this soundtrack. It's one of my favorites of all time. And the Solo remix just beefing it up that much more brought me to tears. There are also new attacks added, the before mentioned gameplay change that only has you playing as one character mostly, and an added minigame to multiply the damage given from a special attack. Oh yeah, and there's this new character who was only added for the DLC menu. Bit of a weird choice, but okay. Solo Remix definitely focuses more on bringing the complete package to the phone, and honestly there wasn't much to fix anyway, so that's totally fine by me. Just brush it up and we're Gucci. They did such a great job that I surprisingly find myself having trouble deciding whether I prefer the DS or phone version. I love the original's gameplay to death as it's grown on me more and more every time I play through it, but the phone version looks and sounds better and has a combat system technically on par with the original if not better. Well, either way, I won't have to decide once this beast hits store shelves. The Switch version is looking to improve even more. Like, what? The game's one of the best out there as is. What more could you want? Well, how about even more attacks? Additional music. Can I get an amen in the comments? Graphics glowing up more than the phone and DS could even dream of. Still, no voice acting, probably. But additional story content? Absolutely right, sir. I'll take 20. In Solo Remix, there was an additional teaser at the end of the game depicting this mysterious girl, and that seriously haunted me for years. I couldn't shut up about it anytime I mentioned The World Ends With You in my videos, and instead of a sequel, it's looking to be an added epilogue to the original game. And hey, that's pretty cool. Also, the DLC girl is maybe gonna have story relevance. I guess she was popular enough for that, but still a bit of a weird choice, but okay. Oh well, more of this game is fine by me because it's been 4 years since then and I never gave up on you, babe. It's been so long. I expect this to be the definitive final remix. Oh wait, I expect this to be the definitive final version of the game, so I want to be sure that there are certain aspects included. As much as I want to say full voice acting, I know that's a pipe dream at this point, so while that would be cool, I doubt it'll happen and it honestly isn't a deal breaker. Would be nice, but it's whatever. However, I do want to be sure that both control options at the very least are given as choices to the player. If I want to play as both characters at the same time like in the DS version, I should be able to. If I want to play as just Neku and have my partner be more of an attack like in Solo Remix, I should be able to. From the screenshots, it's looking like this game will lean more towards Solo Remix, which is fine and all, not to mention more accessible, but I do want the option regardless. The game's supposed to be having 2-player co-op, so if anything, I could just set it to that and control both characters on my own if need be. That sounds ridiculous out loud, but wouldn't be the only time I played a co-op game by myself. As for the epilogue, I would absolutely love it if it were, as the teaser image said, 7 new days. That would add so much more content and help further justify the price tag of the game being $60. Even for a game as masterful as this, that is a bit high, but I personally think it's worth it, so take that as you will. It'd be cool for those 7 days if we didn't mainly control Neku, but the new girl in his control scheme, with the DLC Reaper being the partner character. It'd make for an interesting, new, and fresh dynamic to help spice things up and give us some more fun banter. I don't know how much further off in the timeline said epilogue takes place, but seeing how our favorite characters grew up would be a nice touch. It'd also make for a really fucking cool super boss at the end, but you know, just throwing that out there. And finally, just make sure everything, at the very least front and center, is completely in HD, because crap like this really takes me out of the immersion, let me tell you. Joshua has seen better days, holy shit. Other than that, minus a few nitpicks I might be missing out on, we're good to go. I've played through this gym many times, and I have no plans on stopping anytime soon. I plan on playing solo remakes more before Final Remix comes out, but regardless, my pre-order is already set in stone, and this is a day 1 buy for me. But, Square, just putting that out there, it's not too late to give us a collector's edition. I have no second version of this game to buy, and I'm a big fan, so give me more reasons for me to give you my money, and I'll do just that. Thank you very much. On top of all the beloved Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts games, I always found something to love about the standalone games they put out every now and then, like Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler, Chrono Trigger, so on and so forth. And above all else lies this wonderful game. It's an experience that caught me so off guard due to how I fell in love with it, and I'm so glad that because of the cult following this game received in recent years, it's finally getting a chance in the spotlight once again. I know I joke about getting a sequel a lot, but honestly, this game stands out on its own in such a great way. So a remake with just a bit more added story to the end is the best possible outcome. So needless to say, I'm hyped for The World Ends With You Final Remix, and I hope you are too. If you haven't played this game, I really recommend you pick this up. I already know it's gonna kick ass. And even if you have played this game, still get this version. Solo Remix added so much, and with even more content to come, you'll fall in love with this game all over again. If anything, you'll get to see Joshua in 1080p 60 FPS goodness. I like girls, I swear.